You keep me on it. Forward now, we're good to go. Just a quick recap, because we talked about a lot last week. Talked about a lot. You better take a big bite. I'm saying you better take a big one. Emotional intelligence, because it's a superpower. It's a superpower. Why is it a superpower? Because it allows us to have a better sense of ourselves. It allows us to be aware. Awareness is always the first step, right? Just like if you're in a program acknowledging like addiction or behaviors and things, the first step is awareness. The first step is acknowledging. So we have to be aware of ourselves, aware of the relationships that we have, and aware of our environment or whatever the situation is, right? So you walk into an interview, you can't treat the interview the exact same as you might treat talking with your friends, right? It's a different awareness. There are different things that you pay attention to, right? If you don't care about your friend's body language, you need to care about the interviewer's body language, right? Things like that. Regulation. When we're aware of what's going on, we're also able to regulate, take action intentionally, right? If Jamal, his eyes are closed, he's not listening, not paying attention, he can't participate if somebody calls on him. That's the easiest example, right? You can't regulate. I can't bring my best self. I can't present. I can't explain stuff. We talked about the 5 R's of what regulating is, right? So recognize the stressor, reframe the behavior. So don't just like, okay, I'm being stressed, dive into it, get triggered. But what's actually happening? Trying to slow down, right? Where is this coming from? So once we recognize it, we know where it's coming from, we can reduce it. So do I want to step away? Do I need to hit pause? Do I need to ask somebody to stop talking that way? We have to figure out what's triggering us and then bring our energy back. We talked about basically all the different emotions. Started to go through mindset, right? We all talked about, is it important? Of course it is. We all have one. We talked about the impact and influence. We talked about how mindset really impacts us. So if we're going through change, so experiencing loss, right? Maybe you're in a new relationship, out of a relationship, you just moved, your car broke down. All of these things, how we experience it, are going to be impacted by our mindset, 100%. All right, so confirming that, as we talked about, this is not just my opinion, this is research, fact, all these other things that speak to mindset and attitude, and how in the first 7 years of our life, we soak up and are influenced by what happens around us. So much so that our personality, our behaviors, our attitude, and our routines, right? So when I start waking up, right, how I feel about waking up. Do I cry when I fall down or experience some frustration, right? Those things are influenced by the first 7 years. So anytime you fell down, if your parents made a huge deal about it or they got upset about it, you're more likely to be somebody that responds that way also, compared to if they smile or check in with you, make sure you're okay, and then the child doesn't cry. That's also something that influences us and impacts us. There are a whole type of examples, right? If you see your parents argue, if you see your parents collaborate, if you see your parents talk about money, right? Or if you hear your parents say money is a problem, or never talk about mental health or never talk about food, compared to if you see your parents working out or going for walks or being in nature. All of those things in the first 7 years create our values. They create our mindset. We can change that, we can build on it, but we have to actually know that that's fact. Anybody have any questions? A little recap, any thoughts?
I think that's what you're saying is true though.
And like in terms of,
What you learn in the first like 7 years of your life. Yeah, because I was a crybaby and I'm still a crybaby.
so when stuff happened to you, how did your mom respond?
She didn't respond like she didn't care. Like she told me, like when you cry, nobody cries with you, but when you're happy, everybody's happy with you.
So if you say that you're a crybaby,
Absolutely.
it's because you want somebody to give you the attention, like in terms of.
I think that my family, they treat me the same way they treat me when, like, I was a crybaby, like when I was young, when I was a crybaby. So like they treat me like nobody cares, so I respond like nobody cares. I still respond like a crybaby. I still respond like I'm fighting that, get my voice heard, because I'm the youngest of 14 kids. So when something happens, like my father, he was always the one to baby me, you know, like he was always the one to listen and stuff like that. My mom, she always gave me tough love. And my siblings, they always gave me tough love. So now that my dad's gone, it's like, it seems like I'm like a crab in a barrel just trying to stay.
And crybaby is not positive stuff.
No, it's not. But I'm just,
Just,
But who
yeah, I'm being
remembers,
real, like I'm just.
who remembers completely the first 7 years? I don't
So
remember
there-
anything.
So we're
there are
gonna, you're gonna get, oh, go
no,
ahead.
I was gonna say in terms of like the example you gave of when kids get hurt when they're young.
Mhm.
So my children's grandmother, like in that family, they are definitely emotional eater. And so when my kids were at their grandmother's and I saw them, like my daughter fall down and hurt her knee. Her grandmother, the first thing she did was get a popsicle out of the freezer because she just wanted the little girl to stop
Stop
crying.
Yeah.
And she didn't know how to, here, take a popsicle. So I'm
Okay.
watching that and I'm saying, so
Every time something happens.
so that becomes comfort for you. Or
Right.
if somebody like says, here, give you a toy to distract you when you got hurt. So getting something in some external source is what makes you feel better when you get hurt. So you look to external sources to feel better. If you're, and this is no slight against anyone's parents or anything, I'm just saying, people
That
just,
happens in many-
this is just what happens.
Yeah.
If you fall down and hurt yourself and someone says, okay, here, clean it off, look, it's not so bad, you know, you've survived 100% of these. You know, just in terms of, you're not gonna remember maybe specific things, but if you look at how you respond to stuff, then you'll start to maybe, you can't time travel, but you'll start to kind of figure out. I look to, I definitely, I'm aware of it and it's, I'm pretty good now, but I definitely used to look to, like I said, popcorn. Every time I got stressed or angry, I just, I'm like, oh, smell the popcorn. But that was comforting to me because as a kid, like a lot of my happy memories were around popcorn for whatever the reason,
That makes sense.
family movies or whatever, but
I
it's
agree.
those kind of things that you have to, like Andrea said, the first step is the awareness. And it doesn't matter necessarily where it came from, it's the awareness of that's how you respond and do you want to respond differently.
Yeah, in a way, either sometimes you follow suit or you hate it. Or you don't realize it. Like I used to always, like I started going to school at Eaton Foresight, so if anyone knows where that is, it's on Montebello. I lived on Churchill at the time. Nobody walked me to school. I walked my own self to school all that young, so. That's
How old
probably
were
why,
you?
huh?
How old were you?
I had just started school,
Oh, wow.
pretty much, like, if
That's a long
my sisters
time.
and them, if I didn't walk with the kids. You guys better be home for lunch and you better have your ass back to school.
Yeah.
That's
That's
probably
a
why I
long
don't care
walk.
about, like, if I had to walk somewhere right now. I don't care, I'll just
Right.
walk, so I don't care about being alone. Me going on my travels alone, I'm fine with it, so, yeah, I agree.
Now I don't feel bad. We had to do it when we were young, so I had to do it too when I was.
No, I always.
Independence.
Yeah.
The other
It did
generations
help
that
me
don't,
build my independence, though. Made it easier
Exactly.
for me to like just get up and leave and go anywhere.
And now the
exactly,
kids, like the kids this day and age,
don't do it.
they have it so good, like
So
their
good.
parents are dropping them off, picking them up, like, yeah, that's crazy.
And part of it is the world changed.
Oh, yeah,
It's not,
that's-
it's not as
That
safe.
too,
Yeah, yeah.
cause I don't want my
And
kids
times have changed, right, so.
ever.
You don't want your kids to be by themselves.
No, never,
Yeah.
never. 'Cause if anything was to happen, there was nobody there. No one can say what happened.
You mean inside the house?
So,
No, I
and
mean,
that's
like
the
going
same,
to school, like just being open public, like, no, they need to have, they're not old enough.
But you
But when you
you-
think about yourself at that age,
Yeah,
you
you
were
want
old enough.
to experience
Yeah,
something.
Maybe
but
you weren't.
That's
like you
probably
said,
the thing
times
that-
change. What was that?
Time has changed now.
Yeah, time has changed.
So it's
now.
not safe now as it was before.
No, it's
Even
not safe
now,
now. It was
I
safer
know.
then, I think, than it is now.
Okay,
probably
maybe.
feels- So now,
I mean, it probably wasn't safe, but now it definitely ain't safe. No.
And that's kind of the balance, right? When we think about all these things, and I didn't want to fully answer, well, fully spend as much time in terms of answering and saying like how much you remember versus not, because we're gonna get into mindset and how we think about some of those things in a second. But one of the things that becomes huge, right? Make sure that, okay, yeah. Is this, make sure,
Bad
no excuses,
habits.
right?
And bad habits.
But the good habits that our family has are passed down to us. Absolutely, right? The bad habits that our family has are absolutely passed down to us.
Has or have?
No, it.
All of it. If
All of it.
your family doesn't eat great food, your chances of not eating great food through the roof.
Yeah.
Right? When we talk about why wealthy families, however you define wealth, it doesn't have to just be a bunch of money. Maybe they can travel a bunch, maybe they're all fit, maybe they all live long. Why they stay the way they do is because that's the culture, that's the environment that they're raised in. So they continue to raise their kids that way. They continue to hold each other accountable. Hey, you're not running with us anymore. Hey, you don't come to nature anymore. Hey, you don't hike or you don't camp, right? Families that camp together. Generally, that's the same thing in over generations. Families that never leave the city, most likely your parents never leave the city, right? Which if you don't do it, your kids are never gonna leave the city, right? That's why travel is so important. If you do it, it changes how you see things. You're also more likely to get your kids to travel. Same thing as education. Doesn't have to be university, but the more education you get, the more you care about self-education, the more your kids are gonna care about self-education, the more your friends or family will care about. So it goes hand in hand, right? That's the same thing. And a lot of times people make excuses. We all know external locus of control, right? Giving our power away. One of the biggest things in the community, and a lot of it, I will say, is enabled or supported by European science, European institutions, European health and medical care. But when people say like diabetes runs in my family, no, bad habits run in your family and your family experiences diabetes. Diabetes is not something that's tapped into your DNA. It might get triggered a little bit easier than someone else's, but it only comes from habits. People didn't have diabetes 100 years ago, right? People didn't have the cancers and all these things 200 years ago, or 100 years ago, or 80 years ago. It's from what we eat. It's from what we put on. It's from what we do, right? Generations that they only walked and only biked everywhere were not experiencing the same kind of symptoms or situations, even from mental health. Being outside, you're forcing yourself to be outside. You're getting fitness just by being outside and walking. So some of those things compared to people not walking, people not being outside, people not wanting to do this kind of stuff anymore. It all goes together, right? So it's super important that we understand we can be our toughest critics, right? We can say, okay, I'm a crybaby, but also we have to be our biggest advocates, right? So what part about I can be sensitive when something happens to me?
But you
I
also
deserve it.
deserve to have your voice heard and be validated for what you're experiencing. You know, deserve to be silenced because you're the youngest person.
Oh, no, that is true. Like, you have to be able to give yourself a pat on the back when, you do good and stuff like that. Like, you have to notice your value when you are doing something of value, so.
I think it's even more important to gentle and good with yourself when you're struggling and you're maybe not making the best choices. When you're usually your hardest critic, that is when it's important to give yourself the most love.
Is anybody else?
Hard,
It's
it's kinda hard.
It's just you.
What?
Breathing.
Go to, but
I was cold, but I warmed up with my
You
jacket.
got, you got long john?
My jacket gonna go back.
No, you got his big coat on.
You got long john?
Yeah, and it's warm.
Is one.
There we go. That
Well, I have my jacket on for a reason.
But the biggest thing as we continue to like really push on here is that I want to make sure everyone's eyes are on this. Actions speak louder than words. So that's for other people, but that's for ourselves. We can say we want to be healthier. We can say we want to lose weight. We can say we want to gain weight. We want to have better relationships. But just like that video at the very beginning of the program, we are what we practice. So if we practice being distracted, if we practice having bad relationships with people, if we practice not listening or not eating well, we're gonna get that. Right? So we need to focus on the action. That's why accountability is so, so important, right? And transparency with yourself. If you're slipping, let you know you're slipping, right? sometimes it's okay to have some self-care or to hit pause or to take a break. But you also can't, myself included, can't lie to ourselves. Right? Acknowledge it. Okay, I'm having a tough week. I'm having a tough day. Right? Don't lie to ourselves and say like, yeah, everything's fine. I'm okay. I'm not dropping the ball. If you're dropping the ball, you need to be the one to acknowledge it.
So we can't fake it till we make it?
Listen, I would say those aren't, no. So faking it till you make it or faking it till you become it, totally different. Because when you fake it, in the way they're explaining it is they're still putting in the work.
Yeah.
When we don't put in the work, that's the lie.
Yeah.
Right? And that's more so what I want to highlight. Social media is big on that.
It's like you gotta look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
You have to.
Period.
That's the lie, when you're not looking in the mirror.
Period. Right? And when we, and the reason why I'm trying to say it this way is like when we lie to ourselves, we give ourselves permission not to follow through. Right? Which is these ones. Intention, discipline, and follow through. When you lie to yourself, you're okay not following through. And that's the most important thing in our lives is the follow through. I gotta click back on this again. Oh my goodness. And then, yeah, before we get into the stuff, this is kind of the other thing I want to make sure that we're friendly reminder, right? Everything is either an asset or a liability. There's not really, I mean, somebody could probably find an example that maybe we could debate, but everything is one or the other. There's nothing in between, right? It could switch, right? So your mindset can be an asset and sometimes it can be a liability, right? So things can switch, but in every moment, everything is either an asset or a liability. Does anyone want to throw something out to give, and we can look at it as an example?
Not paying bills,
I was gonna say
daily,
jewelry.
like your daily, like your monthly bills.
So the liability, or if we say like the truth, the facts about bills. Bills are annoying, right? I would much rather be paying myself that money, right? But our bills, could we say it's a liability? So from a financial side, sure, it's a debt or it's something that you're incurring, right? But the positive on that other side of it, what are you doing? You're building credit. You're building trust. You're building all the kind of financial responsibility. So even for kids, as an example, no, you don't want kids to spend tons and tons of money on, we could just say gaming systems, right? Online games, getting different skins, movies, whatever the case is, right? More games or shoes and clothing. That's kind of what kids spend a bunch of money on, right? Most kids don't pay for their own phones. As an example, when we think about asset or liability, paying your bills is a way of building a positive routine. So kids that have to pay the phone bill early, right? Or have to do chores, right? And are paid for it or get a return for it, they have a higher sense of value, of time, of money, of energy. So they're already starting to see, oh, I have to invest, I have to pay for things. So while not all bills are good bills, I would say if you're paying $1,000 a month for a car, it's probably, it's a more difficult debate to say it's an asset because it's stopping you from being able to pay for other things, right? But when we look at some bills, they give you the ability to what? If I didn't pay my internet bill, I can't have no online classes, I can't do much of my work, right? So it's an asset because it's giving me the ability to do something, and on my credit, or when we look at for the banks, they go and they say someone's gonna loan you a car or they want to give you a house. What have you actually spent money on? Right? Because everything we're paying for, again, we're spenders or consumers or we're investors. So everything we put our money towards, it shows a routine, right? It shows our habit, but it also shows our commitment. Right? So if a bank can pull up on Jace and say, oh my gosh, you've been paying a car for 5 years, or you've paid a house for 2 years, or you've paid your phone for 10 years, okay, and you never missed a phone bill, all right? Oh, okay, you can pay the water bill, or oh, you can pay electricity. So while it might be annoying, your credibility goes up to other people, but also to yourself, to the confidence, right? The self-worth. Oh, I have paid this before. Oh, I know how to pay this. But also, it shows you how to start budgeting. It forces you, right? Because if your kid wants to talk on the phone, or if we want to talk on the phone, I know all of us do, right? Back in the day, it was home phone only, right? Most people didn't have to pay for that. You were just paying for obviously the phone, but it was way cheaper. Right? Now, everyone in the house needs to have their own phone, not sharing one. So part of building that responsibility is if you use it when you can pay for it. Right? Or you can eat out when you can afford it. Right? But all money seems like free money to waste and spend if you don't understand the cost of getting it. Right? If you never have to work, and you never have to walk, if you never had to walk before, getting a drive is the expectation. It's easy. Why can't you drive across the bridge for 30 minutes to come get me? Do you know how far 30, you know how much driving 30 minutes of driving is? Right? But if you have never walked before, it's what you expect. You should pick me up. I never got the bus before. Pick me up. Right? Kids back in the day, I had zero expectation of getting picked up. Ever. Like ever.
Hey now.
Ever.
Where did
Ever.
you get picked up from?
Right? So for things I would get picked up, but it was bus or walk.
Figure it out.
All my friends were the same thing. We did it. We biked everywhere. We walked everywhere. So the expectation was, if I'm going somewhere, I have to know how to get home. Their parents are driving me, or it's gonna be a walk or bike ride.
I
Period.
mean, don't say.
I'm
I
not
never
saying,
picked
I'm
you
not
up
saying,
from it.
I said at the beginning, I did get picked up, but I'm saying the expectation is different compared to my siblings. My siblings do not want to bike,
Right.
walk,
My mother
nothing.
would never pay for an
It's a different
Uber
world.
for me.
But
to
not
go
just a
to
different
school.
world, it's also the conditioning, it's also the experience. But why I'm saying it
The
is,
bus?
it changes, not making any excuses, not negative, but what happens around you changes how you see and expect things. My expectation is that I've paid my phone bill since junior high, right? I'm going to pay for the things that I have. That's my expectation because I've had to go through this stuff. So I look at everything this way quicker. My point of coming at it this way is the earlier you have to have some responsibility, the earlier we're each kind of challenged to do this, the earlier we understand asset or liabilities, right? When you understand this, you're not gonna stay in a toxic relationship as long, whether it's a relationship with your phone, right? With your email, with a work colleague, with a friend, with a family member. We can identify these kind of things quicker, the more we think about it.
And energetically, it's the same thing that we talked about manifesting and
Yeah,
drawing things to
Yeah.
you or away. So if you're looking at your bills as a liability and you're begrudging, like you don't want to pay the bill, like, oh, I have to pay Nova Scotia Power. Every time that is keeping you in that cycle with your money. But if you every time pay the bill, say, I am grateful that I had this power, that I had my family warm and we had internet and everything. And I'm grateful that I have the money to pay the bill. And then you put it that way, money is, I'm telling you, money will come back to
Yeah,
you
it's the
more. And
mindset.
it's the mindset,
Yeah.
absolutely. The energy towards any of these things, asset or liability.
Right, and that's the thing, like, that's why I'm saying, like, we have to be very, again, I'm just trying to keep it as quick as possible and as blunt as possible, because when we talk about the money, it has to be straight facts, right? So all the other stuff is why we spent so much time getting into this. We can, your mindset right away, like, coming through this program right away, or in a day, or in a week, or whatever, it might not change the amount of dollars right away that are in your pocket. It's going to change how you think about the money in your pocket, and it's going to change the way you use the money in your pocket. But also, it's going to give you more opportunities to increase that also, right? And so that's why when we say, like, no, having a better attitude about your power bill is not going to all of a sudden make you get more money because a job opportunity comes. But what goes with that, right? You're putting positive intention out about money. You're also thinking and acting differently when it comes to that stuff. So you're gonna be more open and more likely to come across a conversation with a random person, more likely to follow up on a grant proposal, more likely to follow up and try to get a new client. But it absolutely is how we see it, right? The fact that any of us have a roof over our head means that we're doing better than people in this country, people in this province, people in this city. Don't even talk about other people outside of the country because we know that, right?
So I could look at my car as being an asset.
It's a huge, Yeah, depending on,
Oh,
again,
yeah.
as we get into the financials, we'll talk more
Unless you pay
specifically
$2,000
about
every month.
about what an accountant would say about stuff, or what some of these things are. But at the base level, if we're able to use something and get value from something, it's an asset. Now, cars, we're gonna talk longer, but just simple, cars are depreciating assets, so they lose their value, right? If you only use a car to go to the club, and at the club, you spend a bunch of money, and your car is older, and it's not all old cars are bad cars, but let's say it's an old car and a bad car, so you spend a bunch of money on parts and maintenance and all that.
It's a liability.
That is a liability.
Right.
You're not using it to better yourself. You're putting a bunch of money in, you're not getting back. Right? But me, I'm not saying you, right? But I'm saying, so I'll just keep it as the same thing. But if you are using your car to get to school, to using your car to go deal with clients, using your car for these kind of things, it becomes an asset because you're able to do things you would not be able to do.
Without.
And you can
Without it.
further it in an example of Uber driver
Taxi
or
driver.
that kind of thing, then it's becomes
Making
even
it
more
more of
of
an
an
asset,
Source of income.
because you are
Making money
earning
from
the
it.
money, yeah.
It's
exactly.
source of income.
right? But
I could never do it.
But depending, and that's why, right, it has to kind of fit our mix for each person. But this is why we're saying, everything in your life, and this is one of the activities we're gonna do after the break. Or maybe we actually do it before, but I wanna ease in, everything in our life, right, is an asset, we'll do it after the break. Is an asset or liability, and so we each have to actually keep it real with ourselves and look at that. That's friends, that's family, that's habits, routines, right?
Time management. or
Time
risk
management, but it's also spending, literally can be spending. Is my spending habit an asset or a liability? Do I mostly spend on things that I need and on things that are gonna improve me? Or that are helping keep me going, so bills, power, etc. Or do I mostly spend on things that like, yo, my shoes look good, or my clothes are nice, but I wear them once a month, right? Or if I spend it, let's just say as an example, on alcohol. Any money you spend on alcohol, you're getting maybe one use out of it. Or if it's a bottle or something else, you're getting multiple uses, but it's still minimum. Right? Compared to if you spend something, let's say on groceries, you're getting the use. Groceries might be $200, but $200 on groceries is better than $200 on alcohol with how much you get out of it.
No.
What?
How much? I'm saying, no. This is, I know, but this is what I'm talking about this way is we can justify anything, trust me. But when we think about the objective value, so just the pure truth of what value is, a return, adding to you, bettering you. So even if I have, let's say vegetables I don't like or whatever it is, they're expensive because it's all natural food, right? The return I'm getting is, even though it's more expensive, it literally is what my body's supposed to eat.
Yeah.
Right? Might not taste good or whatever, I'm just saying worst case scenario, but it's the best return for my body. It's giving me things mentally, physically, spiritually. It allows me to work, right? Because we can't think about food as just I need food to get by. Because if anybody in here has a car, or we think about buses, if you try to go anywhere in your vehicle without gas or
It's
diesel,
fuel.
right, any fuel, how possible is it? It's impossible,
Yeah.
right? But that's the daily, we have to put fuel every day. There's also, you have to put oil. If you put no oil changes in, what happens? Even if you got a full tank of gas or diesel, your car is going nowhere.
Just like
Your car is ruined.
Eat garbage, your belly ain't gonna like that.
When was the last time you changed your filter?
But this is why we talk. This is why we're talking about it this way, is because we have to think about food, not just as I gotta eat it to get by. If any of us plan on living to be a certain age, food has to be the number one thing. Maybe you could say it's number one tied with something else, but in our life, the food you eat will determine how healthy your brain is, how healthy your body is, how healthy your spirit is. Your friends and family and everything else, yep, right? how physically fit and active you are, yeah. But you can be super fit and healthy, but if you drink Red Bull, you're gonna die earlier than somebody else. Keeping it real, right? If you drink a bunch of coffee compared to somebody who drinks no coffee and you don't eat any veggies and they eat veggies, they're going to live longer than the other person. It's not an Andreas opinion, it's a fact. The things that we do over one day might not be a big deal, over a week might not be a big deal, over a month, over a year, over 20 years, it's a big deal. Right? So if I spend, and I have it in here, this is why I'm excited to get into it. We're gonna look at how much $1 is all the way up to $50. Whether we save it a day, a week, a month, a year, everything adds up, right? Small things in life, there is nothing small. Which puts us into just trying to go ahead. Just as a recap, and then we'll go on break in a sec, but we watched this video. Right, which also talked to us about taking our power back quickly. Right, one of the quickest things we can do, change our body language. All right, especially if we're trying to change our mindset, like in the moment, change your body language. If you're feeling upset, if you're feeling down, change your position from that to this. All right, if you're closed off, if you're like this, if you're nervous, if you're timid, if you're anxious, right, changing your body language, but also, as we talked about, and I know Jamal asked a question about that last week, breathing. When we hit pause, naturally what happens when we're stressed out, our breaths, instead of being, it's like, it's shorter, more shallow breathing. That naturally makes your body get more stressed out. So it creates a cycle. When you have deeper breaths that are slower, it relaxes your body and also gives you more air, which calms you. All right, so we can literally change our power, our mindset, our attitude in the moment.
Like right now, while he's saying that, whose tongue is on the roof of their mouth and your mouth is closed? Like, take a breath. And who practiced any power posing since we watched Amy Cuddy?
I didn't practice it with my mom.
And she did it too?
Yeah, she loved it.
Hey. That's big. We're gonna build on that. Just like a little mental recap, because I want to use this stuff when we're thinking, and talking about today's stuff. Disputing negative thinking. It's a process. We can speed it up, but the parts are, I have the negative thought, right? I'm in the mind of Takai. My negative thought is, I'm not that good at the game. Okay, first off, remember, we're not our thoughts. Literally, we are the person, maybe not person, we are who's thinking, right? When you have a thought, you're not the thought because you're having the thought, literally, right? So when you're upset, when you have an emotion, you're not the emotion because you're having the emotion, you're experiencing it. So you can't be angry, right? Even if you were red on fire, that's not what you are, right? You're feeling anger, you're experiencing it. So the first time any anxiety, fear, negative thinking, upset, first step, remember we are not what we're experiencing. We're separate, right? When we're separate, we can control that. That's why we have to remind ourselves. Aware of our thoughts, let it go, let it pass. I might not be at the best of the game. All right, get that out of here. Focus, next step. All right, so maybe I breathe at the same time, I can do that, but shifting to gratitude. All right, so if my first thought is, I'm not that good at the game, or this work is too stressful, or whatever, shift it positive. I have an opportunity for this, right? I have an opportunity to show myself I'm good at the game. I have an opportunity to beat somebody new. I have an opportunity to learn something new, right? Or I'm getting challenged today. Okay, let's see how good I am. I think I'm good at this stuff, but let's see. Today's gonna test me. So it really is shifting. We have to shift our response, right? So we dispute the negative thoughts. Maybe it's just with positive thoughts. I've been here before, right? I don't want to get out of bed today. I didn't want to get out of bed yesterday, but I did it, right? That's basically me every day in the winter. Like, why is it cold? Right? I want to sleep in. And then my shifting is, no, I thought this yesterday. Let me get up, right? There's not enough time in the day. I got to get up, right? So dispute the thoughts, shift to gratitude, right? But really shift the language. So if you're big on like, oh, I'm not good at this, I can't do this, I'll never be able to do this, I'm not good, shift it. I haven't done this before, I can't do it yet, right? Or I've done something similar, but it's always about changing the language. If you say I'm not good enough, you're making a statement about yourself, which becomes a routine, right? If you want to change it to, I haven't done this before, right? I am good. Let's see how good I am, right? So it's about changing the language. Again, it's not about lying to ourselves. We remind ourselves about things that we've done before, overcome before, or succeeded in before to give us the power, but also the perspective to say, I can do it again, right? Even if it looks a little different. And then, yeah, so we'll go on break in a second, but the reason why we're talking about it like this is when we have mindset, whether it's physical, body language, our goal, especially in this program, is about alignment and leverage. You need to be, all of us, myself included, you need to be aligned with yourself. Takai gotta know what Takai cares about and wants to do in life. You don't have to have it all figured out. But you gotta know what's important to you. You gotta know what your values are. And you gotta stay on that line. The second thing is, once you know who you are, then you gotta leverage that, right? I know that I've had surgeries. I know that I've moved a bunch. I know that I've been an international student. I know that I've played at a high level for sports. I know that I've done business at a high level. Okay, cool. How can I leverage what I've done in my life to get to where I want to be in my life? Right? If I have kids, if I'm running a household, if I've done certain things, oh, there's a bunch of experience. Maybe I'm running the household. Maybe I'm managing the money. Maybe I've done some of these things. In any situation, we can take positives and we want to leverage that. Right? If we were in a toxic relationship or we got out of the relationship, there's a whole lot of positives you can take from it. To leverage that, bring that into all of your next relationships. So everything in our life we can leverage. Positive, easy, right? But any bad thing, any negative thing that happened to us, losses, frustrations, pain, right? If we learn from those things, we can leverage that in all parts of our life. Does that make sense? Anyone disagree? You disagree with me? No? You good with me? Just check. Right? And the feedback loop. This is our second principle. So yeah, I know some folks is already writing this, but if you didn't start writing this, write these two things down. So alignment and leverage, that's key one. And key two is the feedback loop. Right? We want to have confidence and comfort in ourselves. Period. We want to be confident and comfortable being ourselves. Takai wakes up every day saying it's a great day to be alive. I love myself. Right? I want to be here. I want to learn some new things and I want to get my money up. All right, cool. Self-knowledge. What do we know about ourselves? We got to honor it. Maybe learn some more things. Self-awareness.
Is that on the slide?
It's on the slide.
I don't see it.
Not on the share slide yet.
It's not on the share slide.
No.
Okay.
Sit next to Hussein. Yeah, the Asian neck can get a workout.
It don't matter really, but
Self-awareness, so self-knowledge, self-awareness, two keys, and then energy. Everybody has it, but it is very important that we all use leverage and are aware of our energy,
So you want us to write this down?
very much so.
Yeah. And what do you want us to do with the alignment and leverage part?
So you can. So I guess after writing alignment and leverage,
Uh-huh.
so you can put like, so alignment, you can put with who I am. And leverage is your lived experience. And so leverage your lived experience and alignment is with who you are.
Are you okay?
so
Nafisa, Gina, any questions?
Sorry, Andreas, what did you say leverage was?
Oh, leverage our lived experience.
Let's just-
Yeah, absolutely. No, don't apologize. It's a great question. You got it all down to that?
I just write the feedback.
Perfect.
And you want 3 to 5?
For which one?
Alignment and leverage.
Yeah, if you can, if we can. So it just be coming up with like some of those examples.
Okay, 3 to 5 examples.
Yeah,
And then for feedback,
Okay, you say that all again,
which part?
like, okay, so you want the like. The examples, but like, for like the alignment, like how would I put an example like?
So example of, so it's who you are, right? So alignment can be, you can give a couple values, things that you value, things that are important to you. Leverage, and then the leverage, because it's for your lived experience, just give some examples of your lived experiences that you can leverage, that you can use to help you in another situation. So for me, as an example, I have overcome a major surgery. That would be random experience. What can I leverage from that? Well, I've been resilient. I've rehabbed myself mentally, physically. I've overcome a huge bunch of obstacles. I've been very independent. So I'm just like, just as an example, that one thing I can leverage, I can turn into positives for 5, 6, 7, 15 things. Right? I can also relate to people who've gone through injuries. I can also help people who've done through, you know what I mean? Just a bunch of stuff like that, right? Or, you know, maybe a negative example, just because we're talking. Maybe it's you've had a problem with credit cards. So when you were younger, you didn't do well with the credit card, or you had a lot of debt, but since then you've paid that stuff off. So that negative experience was actually something that you can turn into education for other people. You're overcoming it. Now it forced you to get better with your money. You know what I mean? So anything can be leveraged. So just kind of focus on, 3 to 5 experiences that you can and will leverage for other things. Does that make
And
sense?
then 3 to 5, like, values that like, I guess make me who I am.
Exactly.
Okay.
Did that answer?
Yeah, thank you. It's not that I really had an issue with how to do it, it's
Okay.
kind of like, it's stuff to come up with, like, to write down.
That's why we asked.
Just need the tree shuck, eh?
That's it. Hey, no more questions. I gotta drink my smoothie. Yeah, no more questions, Jen.
You're not gonna like me.
I'm not gonna what?
You're not gonna like me right now.
You have a question? I finished. It was good time. Jasmine, she got a question first.
Yeah, I know, go ahead.
I
I
don't
was
have
writing
beef.
my stuff down, I heard you talk about, I never heard you talk.
That's fine.
So, with the alignment one, right?
Yeah,
So who I am,
Yeah.
like, would that be like caring, loving?
exactly. So values,
Supportive?
values,
Okay.
characteristics. So things that you value or also characteristics, things that you do or that are important to you. So, alignment. So who am I? So I'm a caring person. Community is huge to me. Family or tribe is
So, like,
huge to
honest?
me. Yep,
Respectful?
Yep. Yep.
Right.
But then like, so if you write the word, but like maybe a small example of like what that is. So respect is super important for me, but that's like, I respect everybody or I respect family, but also disrespect is big for me.
I respect love and friends, family.
So put that up. Do you have respect for your enemies?
No. No, I do not.
So maybe, you know, you can write that down too, but it's part of it, right?
You got respect for your enemies?
You know what I do? I love
So I will say you have to
it. I keep you on my toes.
respect your enemies enough to know
Yeah.
about them, right? Can never get caught slipping that way. But for alignment, it's just really important that we're super grounded on who we are, what we care about. The reason why is because I'll use myself as an example. I've been in situations where I could have taken more money for something, but it compromised who I was and what I stood for and what I agreed upon. So I said no, right? And we didn't continue. We didn't make more money with them. and it ended our contract. Right? So we didn't get more money and also, we butted heads with those people, but I stood on my values. Do I regret it? No. Would I do it again? Yes. Might have done it earlier, right? Or I might not have done some other things.
So you want us to put like, well, I'm just gonna put like an example, so
Yeah.
I can say, I am an honest person.
Yeah.
Or do you want like something more?
So I would say like, so alignment, so self, yeah, I'm an honest person, and if it's true, like honesty is very important. Both to give and to receive. Cause some people are like, I'm not honest, but I want you to be honest with me, right?
Yeah, many people like that.
So I wanna be just more specific on that. So like if we're saying respect is big, I'm big on giving respect and on receiving respect. It's important that we break those things out. Right? Some people are only respectful if they also receive it. But they won't give it if they don't get it.
You have to give it.
Right? I think it has to be both. Right? For me,
Right.
I believe that, you don't just tell somebody they have to respect you because you're a teacher or a leader or whatever. Everybody deserves respect. And then after you get to know them, you can lose respect for them, but they don't have to start to earn your respect. No, everybody should be respected. Right? As an example. So that would be one thing.
You should not disrespect anyone just because of their age or color or education level. Or in general speaking, you have to respect everyone you meet, unless they prove that they
Until you
don't,
have
they
a
don't
reason to
deserve
know.
that
Exactly.
respect.
But this is why I'm saying from the big important thing is that the culture that's pushed is that people say you have to give respect to get it. Partially, it's true, but it's also that they say, I'm saying what's pushed in the media, on TV, in games, on music, is that somebody has to earn respect. Right? I'll only respect you if you make me respect you. You should give respect to everybody because that's who you are.
You have to change that.
Right?
That's the best way to do
Period.
it. After that, just get away from.
Also that,
Yeah. Not going
right? But everybody should start off being respected.
But the concept of alignment and leverage still failed for me. Like I know the meaning of the two words, but I'm not making it. Why they are together?
My first question, did you write down some examples?
No, because I don't understand.
So alignment, so you have to write down either some values, some things that you personally, who say, not Jamal, not
Yeah.
just in culture or faith, but things that are specific to you that you value. And then why do you value them? Right? So if community is something that you value, right? Is it important for you? Then that would be something that you would add. Or respect. Respect, if it's something that is important to you, you would say, respect is important to me to give and to receive. Right? That's under alignment. So alignment is things about you. It's things about yourself, things that are true. It's your core. So it can either be like Angela's examples were also really good. And she said like caring. So you would say, I'm a caring person, or I'm really caring about family, friends, or other people. That's alignment. That's who she is. So it's giving examples of your values or of your personality or things you do.
What about the feedback and the loop? Confidence, comfort.
That I didn't say that part. She said it.
Yeah, and then
I didn't do
leverage.
the leverage yet. I just-
And then
I don't know. So leverage was lived experiences?
yeah, and so leverage is basically 3 to 5 experiences that you've had that you can leverage so that they can help you in future experiences. So the examples I was given to Asia, as an example, I had an experience that I went through a major surgery, right? So that's an experience. Sure, maybe other people have had that. So ways I can leverage that, I can help other people. Don't want to let this die again. I can help other people in terms of overcoming injuries, right? Because I had surgery and overcame it, you know, I had the experience of rehabilitation, mentally, physically. So I can leverage that when it comes to training, when it comes to thinking or having a mind to overcome challenges, because I overcame a huge challenge, right? A bunch of times. You know, you could also use the experience of, as I said, so maybe being in a toxic relationship was an experience. So ways that you can leverage it are maybe you're more aware of other people, or you're more aware of negativity. So there are different
So-
things you take that help you in the future.
So like you said, like you can see somebody as virtual.
Pardon me?
For leverage?
So,
Like he's able to more emotionally support somebody else.
Santina, your laptop, can I plug this in?
So how would I
Which
put
one
that
is-
in the leverage?
So you're leveraging
Oh, this one?
your experience
Yeah.
to be able to support.
Thank you.
Couldn't see behind.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
So maybe as an example, right, and it's challenging, right, but like experiencing loss. So if you've had loss in your life, so lost a loved
So
one,
loss would be a
family,
leverage.
friend. If, only if it's true, right? We can find a way, and I'll argue this with anybody, you can leverage everything that's ever happened to you. Every single thing can be leveraged, right? But to simplify it, if you have loss, right, maybe you've experienced loss in your life. So ways that you can leverage that is you can relate to other people who are experiencing loss.
Give me another word for leverage in the meaning. of the
Um,
word.
Did you?
Another
So,
word of leverage, like, 'cause when I look at the translations here, pushes, hold, grip, grasp, contact, attachment or support. Those are the meanings of
when you
leverage.
think of think of a lever. Right, so if you're leverage is helping you to do something else. So when you put,
Something that facilitates you to make something else.
yes,
I'm trying to think of another way to say that. It's how can you use that? So if I, like, for example, in working in a job, if I worked at a bank. So I had to use money all the time and deal with, so there's customer service stuff, there's also financial things. So if I wanted to go apply for a job somewhere in the government. In financial services, they would say, what experience you have? I can leverage that experience and say, I
Yeah.
have done these things in the
Yeah.
past, so this will allow me
Use those
to be able to.
experiences to prove that they have that experience, so
Right.
I'm qualified for this job.
Right, like literally like the resume that you give somebody. That on that paper, those things are gonna leverage in terms of you applying for another job. All these things that I have on the resume leverage me to be able to. And it's not just apply for the job, but leverages you to be able to do the job, like you have, you can use those things again.
To prove that you
So,
can do.
so it's not. It doesn't have to be in this example, transferable skills are being leveraged.
and so and that's what I was trying to get the other one, so that's why I said like, so it's using as a lever, so it's being able to have an advantage. You're taking something that happened and using it to your advantage,
Right.
so it's transferable.
Now leverage, like my son likes to play on the PlayStation. So if he doesn't do things around the house, my leverage for him, my leverage over him is that I can take that away from him. If he doesn't care about going out with his friends, me saying you're grounded, just that's no leverage, because he doesn't care. So my leverage with him in that circumstances, I can take that away from him because I know that that will modify his behavior. So I'm leveraging some power and control to modify his behavior.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? Something that you can use in a situation.
Would working in a bad working environment be one?
Yes,
If you, as long as, and that's why I'm saying it
Allow
this way, exactly, this is why I'm saying it this way. We're gonna spend more time on leverage and all that stuff, for the super simple, right now, we just gotta be open to everything that we experience can be leveraged. The first steps are just figuring out what are things you can take from that situation to help you be successful in another situation. So if I was saying a toxic work environment, it helps me, one, I know what type of environments I'm not
Yeah.
going to stay in next time.
Right.
But writing that actually down, so that way I'm like, oh, this is actually helping me, because part of it's the filter. That's why we write it down. Helps us filter our thoughts. So, oh, I hate, I've been in a toxic place, I don't want to be in another place like that. Okay, well, how do we leverage that? What are things that we now know we don't want to experience?
You
What
take
are-
advantage of?
But you would write that down specifically.
So it's not necessarily positive things, could be negative.
The things that happen to us could be positive or
Or
negative,
negative. But I can
but
leverage.
the
them.
leverage is always positive. Yes,
Leverage to something positive.
exactly. So I made a mistake, okay,
The
not
verb-
really a mistake, as long as I can use that to help me be successful in the future.
The verb leveraging is a positive action. Is that correct? Am I saying it?
How we're using it, yeah,
How you using? And how do you spell lever? Lever?
yeah,
Lever?
yeah.
I didn't know how to start it, so I don't know what those are.
This for Alondra, right?
Yeah,
Yep, and then just maybe some other value words. So is integrity, like you care about your integrity, so being honest, you care about respect.
I'll come back.
You care about,
No, cause I am.
part of that, right, you are like the safety
Stop
stuff,
leveraging.
right, so just certain things like that also.
respected, I get respected in that one.
Yeah.
Because when if I'm working and I'm working with clients, I want to feel respected. I want
Oh,
to.
nice.
Exactly, so that's what I was saying to Jasmine, but to everyone else too. So then when we put down the value word, we'd say respect,
Mm,
but, and then you put like, or you could say like giving respect and getting respect.
receiving, okay.
Because those two things are like, some people are like, listen, I'm gonna be respectful to everyone, I don't care if I get it back.
Right,
Some people are like, I need to get it back, I need to be treated with respect, or whatever it is, right? But some people care about both.
mm,
Ideally, caring about both is important, but it's also two separate things.
okay.
Just to make it even more specific, but that, those other ones look good. And it's just, I would say adding some of the values, because just like the ones that you already wrote, it talks about who you are. And that's the most important thing to focus on, right? Because if you know what your alignment is, Camille, you're not gonna stay in a situation that's out of alignment. You're not gonna let somebody talk to you that's out of alignment.
Right,
And that's why we're focusing on that. Because a lot of times what happens is people will be like, yeah, I don't really know. I'll go whatever happens, right? And then if you go wherever the wind blows, you got no strength, right? Or you end up alone,
or you end up not liking it.
hating it,
Mm,
right?
Just have more to say. That's because of well.
That's it.
I have a few down, but I just don't know how to do them.
Which one? Or give it.
I have respect down.
Yep.
but I don't know if it's leverage or if it's alignment. I think it's both. I'm not giving it to receive it. I really don't care. I'm gonna be how I'm gonna be.
So there's definitely alignment first.
Yeah,
But
hold on, sorry. But on the other end, in some sense, like certain people, I understand how you feel about the word respect.
Yeah.
So I will leverage that with certain people, so.
exactly, exactly, right? So,
It's both.
but that's what I'm saying. So make
Yeah.
sure, but you break it out so that way you don't just say like, and this is why I keep pushing everyone, I'm like, it's not just for us. It's also for you. The more you break it out, it's like,
I
yo,
want you to
hey,
understand
I
this.
care about respect. That's me saying I care about respect is way different than me saying I care about giving respect and I care about receiving respect. And I also understand people that value respect. Way different.
All right, I get it. Cause I also have,
Because think about people that come in our community that don't know how to communicate with us.
no,
They don't get it. They can't leverage what we can leverage to connect with people,
they can bring something to the table.
but they can't leverage in the same way. Right? And so that's where it doesn't have to be in our community. It could be if you're dealing with, let's say Santino, folks who are immigrants, or let's say you travel somewhere else and you're not from there, you don't know them. But respect is something that's big to you. So in a culture that also has a high thing for respect, you can leverage what you do and what you know to connect with other people way easier.
Okay.
Compared to
Okay.
people that when I was in Jamaica, there were some other students that were also from SMU, they went down. They did not respect the culture. And they were not aware of those things. So they literally got themselves into situations where people are like, yo, you need to, you can't be here like this.
Chill. Yeah.
Right? And so they were not aware of it. They didn't leverage it. I'm aware of it. I went down there and leveraged it, have my own experience.
So I guess if I was to put down ending a relationship or a friendship, that would go with alignment. But then if I had down starting a new friendship, that would go with leverage.
I think they would
What was
both,
the reason that you ended the friendship? Or the relationship?
It was probably toxic. Or just, there was nothing there. Why are we friends?
so the part for alignment would be, you would just have, I think most of that would be for leverage.
Yeah.
If you break out why you left. Right? And what that helps you notice. So for maybe you left that relationship because it wasn't in alignment with the things you wrote down. So you left the relationship because it wasn't a fit for respect, for trust, for communication, for compassion, for whatever. It didn't fit what you had in alignment.
Okay, so it didn't fit with the alignment. So
And so-
starting a new one, a new friendship or something like that would be,
The leverage of starting a new one is that it's going to be in alignment with you.
because I have a reason for starting.
Yeah, and for you now, because you've had bad, you know what good looks like. You know what you don't want to have again.
So the relationship, the original one was not in alignment with you because the substance did not serve your values.
Okay.
So leveraging that and the leveraging piece
Asia, how you doing?
isn't getting it going into a new relationship, the leveraging piece is how you choose the new
I-
relationship. Based on what you
Yeah.
learned from the old. one.
And care about
Does that make sense?
It
religion
does, but then I'm still conflicted because I think.
or
that they
religion.
both
Yeah.
Go with the
concept or religious
and
concepts or something like that.
leverage.
So that's alignment.
And
That's alignment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Depending
and-
on
And
what I,
leverage.
like the sentence I put.
If you were leveraging that,
Basically,
you
Yeah.
would also
Okay.
understand other people who are passionate or who value religion. That would be one of the first things to leverage. You can understand other people. You can connect with them that way.
Okay.
You could break out other ways to leverage that, but that would be a quick, easy. Also come up with some other ones too, right? But
Right. You can also stop relationship with other people who do not. It's not relationship like school or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Close friends that
Yeah.
who do not value the same value.
Okay.
and that's why I'm splitting it. That's why, because when we know what our alignment is to us, it makes everything easier. Because if Jamal says trust, respect, religion, faith, family are all very, very, very important to me.
Okay.
But it's not to this person or this company or this place. Right? I would leverage
When it comes to leverage. I don't know.
not keeping that relationship,
So,
right? Because I identify.
so you're supposed to take one thing and say that it's in alignment with you and then show how you leverage it, is that what it's being asked here?
So people were either doing it that way, or they were just coming up with an example that they wanted to leverage. So you can do it that way.
But
He was just
if-
asking specific.
Right, but. Have the alignment, are those two things supposed to be the same?
They
Or
can
is it
be,
different things?
but don't have to.
So you don't have to, one of these. Give the example of one of those.
I know, but when I was in alignment, I just could come up with them. More than like the leverage, I'm stuck like.
Let's think about this.
What are some other alignments? You got a bunch down?
Leverage. and
I care about
experience.
respect,
My
I
life
care about family.
experience.
Respect,
I'm at
did
a,
you say giving
I'm at a-
and receiving?
So,
Yes, of course.
I
I
could
Did
didn't
you,
one.
did you write it though?
I did not.
So those, writing it is different, because saying I care about respect, not the same as I care about giving and receiving respect.
Okay, do I have to give example?
How to leverage.
For respect,
Yeah.
maybe one, because what respect?
Yeah, I don't like nobody to yell at me or something. like that.
Yeah, exactly, put that.
And that, for instance, happened the other day to me, someone was yelling at me, so I had to be upset, came back, or maybe made a complaint, because it was in a public place, for instance.
Yeah.
So that's example. What's?
So that would be,
But that's example of something happening. I don't see that.
no, so this is why, so when we think about leverage, it's things we want to take from that. So example, if you're saying, so not alignment, but leverage, right?
What would you do differently? If you were to have the same situation again happen, thinking back on it, what do you think you could have done that was different? Like, what would you change?
Yeah, it's
Would you change like your reaction?
probably.
And that's basically it. right? Yeah, that's basically it.
Change timing, action.
So that's leverage. So your leverage is, you wanna take something from this to help you and to benefit you for other experiences. So if you had a negative experience, let's say in the bank, where somebody didn't answer your question, they didn't wait on you, they didn't let you come here, then they weren't respectful for you,
Yeah. Sense.
and you spoke up for yourself, right? That is something that you can leverage, advocate, you advocated for yourself. So you did it one time. To leverage, you can advocate for yourself in the relationship or in other work experience or other times, using the same process that you did in the bank.
So you mean you benefit from that experience?
Yeah,
I'll give you another example I'm about to write down right now, which is, timing.
Trying to think.
If you're sick and tired of, not getting the right parking spot, then your timing, you need to leverage your timing and be a little bit earlier.
so
you can-
easy example,
Yeah,
to leverage anything, if you wake up early, you're leveraging what time you get up to have more hours in
Trying
the
to
day.
think of like.
Right.
So I leverage this morning, or on days where I'm like, I'm stressed, or I'm like, I need more time, I leverage the fact that I can get up early,
They were.
and I'll get up early, and I will work at 6 in the morning, I'll work at 5 in the morning,
Manager.
right? So I'll leverage that time to have more opportunity, to get more work done,
When they felt that they didn't
Okay.
need to be in that position.
right? And another one is, if you have money, you can leverage that money to buy things that benefit you. Or if you have relationships with powerful or influential people, right? Sometimes they leverage those relationships to get a benefit, right? So if I know the manager at a car dealership, most oftentimes I could leverage that relationship to have a better opportunity to get a deal on the car.
Right. Take advantage of something. Or lose something. Or take benefit from that experience.
All of those, and that's why I say leverage.
Like I care about being fit,
Yep,
for instance. I was fit at some point, I'm not fit right now, but I leverage from my previous experience.
exactly.
That when I was going to the gym, and I was eating less, eating healthier way,
Yep.
and I lost weight, so.
So you're leveraging that knowledge and
Leverage
experience
and get it, and use it again
to get a different result.
get the results being fit again.
You wrote that one down? 'Cause that's a good example.
Okay, that's a good example, okay.
Writing them down takes our power back. And if everyone else is done or kind of working, we'll go on break so that we'll come back 11:15. So that way, if you still finishing, you can chip away, have a little break time, or have a break time, come back and finish. We got 15 minutes.
it's 11.
Yeah. I said it at 10:59.
No, but as you said it, the watch said, and I knew it. I'm like, what hour is it?
Let's go on break, and then maybe when you hear more other people talk about it.
As soon as we come back, we're gonna talk about some examples, yeah.
And that's literally sometimes what I do. I have it down, but like I need to hear from other people.
That's why we gotta do
Make it
it.
make sense. So I'm
Absolutely.
like, okay, now I understand.
And then 902, so then 902 would be, Guys, we have a while.
Why not? You know, I don't want no coffee, I'm gonna, my,
You might as well say that again, there. I don't want no coffee.
not a coffee. I put my, sea moss in there, it's not. No, it's not, I didn't stir it, so it's like.
Look, it's visual. Oh, I gotta text Rob.
And by the way, I know if you have it in mind, you can show it. So the gentleman is full set is $70. Pretty good. Or the full set acrylic is $60. She doesn't charge you.
Wait, let me go look.
So I know. But this right here.
Right now.
You know,
I'm going to fuck them right now.
but also. What do we do?
I never.
Pay attention.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
Attention to detail.
it's underneath there, then, oh, it's not the same order that I was thinking, it's different order.
So for the share back, we'll just talk a little bit as a group. I'll like some of this stuff. Hopefully, like I said, I'll on board, but. What are some things that people put for alignment? Or maybe even better, let's get. I have mine up here, I'll put those. The guys are people like this, but. Huh? You wanna come put, you have some examples for alignment, you wanna come put yours down?
Yeah.
Then when you're done, pass that. So, I'll give you this.
So you just wanna want us to write our.
Just for alignment,
The whole sentence or just the word?
just the word from now, just the
We can
word.
talk about it later while we put it there.
Depends on how long the sentence is. I'll leave it up to you.
Never mind.
Both of you. Whenever you're ready to go, your alignment was up to.
We're just doing one or a few?
Few of them. And then Nafisa, Gina, and Betty, if you want to put the words you used or even the sentences you wrote for alignment. So the values for you, things that you care about, whether it's characteristics or personality. So caring, loving. Yeah, timely is important. That's one. But yeah, if you put those in the chat, then we'll add it to our lists up there. People just writing them down, right?
I have time.
That's fine. And that's what we're saying. Some people are using their alignment for their leverage to keep it going, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Jasmine, when you go up, can you write like on the right half? Leverage?
Don't make from my right.
No.
Further over
Is
to
that
the
for
right
everybody
one.
else? Yeah, so yeah, Jasmine, yeah. That's perfect spot. Thank you so much. Jamal, did you pass the marker to someone?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Angela thought she was hiding, Jamal. She thought she was hiding.
I'm doing the alignment. one.
Yeah, alignment first.
Um, that left.
Going uphill, eh, Jasmine?
Be quiet.
It's messy. We should go up and not downhill.
Oh, where you going?
Nobody.
I put.
Another
Supporter is OR at the end or ER?
ER.
Thanks, thanks.
I had to picture it. She wanted to meet. I said, well, can we one of them other days? Maybe she wanted an hour.
It can be.
Trouble with the record.
It's just.
Or at least that's what you want.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna see what it is. Yeah, 3:45.
Leverage is, I don't know, see, someone put timing up.
Situation. Yeah, what
timing
is,
for
Sarah?
alignment. Go ahead for
It's
leverage,
It can be
because
used spiritually and
like,
naturally.
not being on time, you're rushing, you're
But
frustrated, you're, you know
naturally,
what
I'm
I
not.
mean? You got too many thoughts in your head where
Time
it would
and-
be,
Yeah.
What?
yeah, if you manage the time a little bit better, you can leverage it. You might have time to stop, think, sit, do whatever you need to do, get your thoughts together. Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
What I'm saying is.
so you're trying to leverage the time.
Time, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want them off the schedule. Thinking they can just go whenever they. feel like
Whereas
it.
someone else might put time in, it's just that, how they
I
are.
have negative impact, but it's-
Like the
Well, I
guy,
put for my first, I put great for, but elaborate, my great, it's just like,
Don't be a problem.
I'm trying to think like,
I think it's just whatever
you only could really leverage that around.
Are you hearing what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
um,
that would be alignment for sure.
Okay, then.
no, but that's what I put down it for alignment,
Yeah,
but I was wondering how I should do it as, leverage.
but I have surgery now, but that's for leverage.
I mean, went through it.
Yeah, I went through it. I'm not gonna go and do certain things again. I'm gonna leverage it. Like, be mindful of my actions so that I don't do that again.
Right.
Did you have surgery for the injury?
Yeah,
Yeah.
surgery, yeah, I almost cut this finger off.
No, but my pain right here.
In grade like 8 or 9. Yeah. It went this way, instead of going this way. If it had went this way, the knuckle was gone. Yeah, I got very lucky.
Ouch.
Walking around here like
So
that.
then you can say, so you can, so you can see what you leveraged out of that experience, how you moved differently after that.
Oh, yeah.
I guess. You wash them off.
It's gym day, we have no time to play.
That was messed up. You know, that old
I
class,
only got 3 for
band
that.
class, or tech ed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
is that what you did at school?
Are we doing language too? Or?
We're gonna talk about alignment first and then we'll do it.
Dan saw
I just wanna make sure.
Wood had a crack on the other side. I didn't look at it first. I just
Yeah, I mean, you write
Put
them all up.
put it in, wood split apart.
If you want us to.
For Nafisa? Not for me, for Nafisa.
My
yet.
spelling is horrible.
I don't
Oh,
care.
can write it.
Okay, thank you, Asia.
My spelling is horrible.
We don't care about that.
We go from-
Under alignment, Asia. We got relationship, time, knowledge, health.
So relationship, time, knowledge, health.
Yeah, please. And Gina's trying to keep us waiting. Gina, you put yours in the chats. Thank you.
That's another one. Health kind of goes, alignment. You can also leverage it. So I can go either which way. Which you want to put down. I didn't. Should have.
Health.
Health, we should have.
Yeah, I didn't put health in mine, admin.
Who said that one anyway?
The pizza.
Yeah, thank you very much.
For alignment as well?
Doesn't have to be, but that's
Could
what.
be either one. Yeah,
Or could it be lived experience? It could be both.
well, it should go in alignment with your everyday, eating habits and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not eating bad, then you're leveraging, you're
Right.
prolonging. Like you're
That's it.
yourself.
That's it. Okay, let's talk. Let's talk. It's group discussion. Group discussion. Takai, kick us off. Give us, don't just read it. Don't just read it, but tell us. Oh, and them, yell to them.
Put mine on the board, given the respect I get. Basically, I put in 50, I can 50 back, like I should. We made it to the bank, get some type of respect back, so if I feel more, I want to get more from the respect I get. That's why I put mine down. I
Good.
really put, I didn't, well, then I put family down, because I wouldn't be where I'm at without family, and then, that basically wanted to know that.
Oh, you better get three more. You better get three more.
Sorry, when you said that you put family down, did you have it with alignment or leverage?
Online.
Alignment, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah.
Then whoever wants.
Jumping ahead.
You said you passed them to the group or someone.
I put down ending friendship because some friendships are just not in alignment, they need to be ended. So.
So then what, because that's part of that's like a in between leverage and alignment. So what are some things that are alignment for you that the relationship or
just
friendship
not
didn't have?
It was, what?
So if you end something,
Yeah.
right, it's because it's not in alignment with you.
Yeah.
So is that, so the first step is, what is alignment with you?
Honesty, with relationship.
The ending the relationship in alignment, like in alignment with you are the things that you value that you didn't get from that.
Because the person had no values and I had values.
So your values are in alignment to you. So that's why you ended the relationship, because of your values are not in alignment with yours. So the alignment is the value. And then then you took action
On the
to end
value.
the relationship because the relationship was not aligned. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
It's not the action, you took action to stay in alignment with yourself.
Yeah.
But what took you out of alignment, or what was not aligning with you, was the foundation of the relationship with the person. So if they don't have values, and their values were not in alignment with your values. It's the alignment is the values.
You said some other ones though, you said like family or health or some other stuff?
For alignment.
Yeah.
I did say respect. But when I said respect, it's because I'm always giving respect always. I'm not really concerned about getting it back.
But so respect is still part of what's alignment for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Cause you just say you're always giving it, so that's very aligned, that's very much in alignment with who you are.
Or trust or communication, like are those in alignment?
Trust and communication, like what do you mean?
So those are things you value.
Like when you say you're always giving respect. So do you feel like you give, like respect means more to you in giving respect? Or is that more important of a thing than communication with people? Like you're not as much worried about communication? And that's not there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to help you right through it.
I just didn't think about it. I was focused on the one. Respect. I always do. So. I don't know, you gave me some more stuff to think about. I gotta change my ways.
That's good. That's perfect. Who you passing it to? Or you doing that?
I'm not passing it.
Oh,
Whoever wants to jump in, jump in.
you want Jamal?
Maybe, for me, like, maybe rejoining, and sharing. It's very important for me, because I have to be, a bit overseen, relation with my friend, or staff nurse and Milton will be back, so I have to be joining the back, and be always joining with them, I have to be relation, because they like back for background,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So, I keep in touch with them always. They're very important, because they are important, they are, they are good friends, they are important. They call me, they call me, but I'm for concern for the kids as well, because of the time relation with the kids.
Yeah.
It's reflective. Sometimes we think about sometimes we get flashes, and then we think about what happened to try to think, fix, share with the kids, the relation, like, shaking sometimes, like kidding, so maybe like this, and time is very important in time, time is very important for us, because we learn, sometimes how to, divide, by half, by two, We have to learn this is very important for us. Time is very important.
Who you pass it to?
I'll go.
Yes.
You're safe. Your Angelo's about to get put on the spot.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's it. She's trying to sneak today, Jamal.
No, because he was trying to pass to me earlier.
Okay.
You paid Hussein off, is what you said.
For Allah, and about family, I guess maybe another word for being fit is having healthy body. Right, and I value religion. I value respect. I value trust between people.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess, for alignment. Yeah, I guess we don't want to talk about.
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
Not anything else.
Who you want to pass it to?
Of course, Angie.
It's picked up.
It's support Angela's voice there.
I would count, kind, as I always try to be kind, even when others are not kind to me. Like, actually, me and Eve was having this conversation earlier. And it's always something about that Tim Hortons in this building, they're not kind. So, but anyways, I try to be kind anyways, even if others are not kind to me. Hopefully my kindness will sink into them when they're alone by themselves. And they say, she was extra kind today, maybe I should, be kind too. Supporter, I support, anybody that needs my support. I'm just a supporter. Seer, I put that, no, I put that as, I always try to see the good and the bad. Even like if I'm facing some hard times, I always try to see the positive, no matter what. I always try to see the positive. But there's another side of seer. You can see with your spiritual eyes too, but we won't get into that. And I'm hardworking. I'm just a hardworking person when it comes to any job that I do. Yeah, so I'll pass it to Asian writing, Camille, I guess, yeah. If you're done.
I just put grateful, integrity, respect, and trust. Do you wanna know like the reason for them or?
If you wanna share, a little bit at least.
Feeling grateful for everything that I have in life, and then integrity, feeling connected to the people around me and the places I go. And respect, feeling safe and secure in my ability to go to work and do my job daily. And trust, feeling that I can. Anybody can know.
I think that's Asia. And then we gotta go to the online books.
I was done, my page just worked out, so I was just done. But, okay, for alignment, I put respect. I'm trying to be respectful most times, even if, like the respect isn't given back to me. Gratitude, no matter what, always, remembering to always stay grateful for what I have, even if it's not, ideal sometimes. Honesty, and then next to honesty, I just put like healthy communication. Yeah, cause sometimes people can be honest, but sometimes they can go about it a different way. Caring for my friends and my family and like others as well. And then I kind of put like empathy is like next to caring, they're kind of the same thing. Authenticity, valuing, being yourself no matter what anyone says. I took this one from my mom. Praying and staying close to God.
I'm not sitting next to her.
Oh, wow, no, but I forgot about it, but yeah, that's a big value of mine. And then not to fit, but not putting anything toxic in my body, and then also keeping my mental health good as well, because that's also important, and that's all I have for alignment.
Navisa, do you wanna unmute yourself and read yours? Or just say a little bit? Yeah. And then Gina after. Thanks.
Yeah, okay. So for relationship, like ensuring that personal relationship are aligned to each shared values, goals, and support. And for time, I can say aligning daily schedule with personal priority to focus on what truly matters. Aligning lifestyle choices with health goal, including exercise, balanced diet, and sufficient sleep. Aligning personal development effort with a commitment to continuous learning and growth. So Gina or Betty, whoever wants to share. Gina, Betty, are you there? Gina, I think if you leave and join again, it will be okay. We can't hear any sound.
I think we have to wait until he comes back.
Yeah, I see Andreas is muted, just so we can hear. Oh, everybody is writing on the whiteboard.
We can't hear you, Andreas.
Oh, no, go ahead, Dan.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so just getting
Yeah,
people
okay.
to write down their examples for leverage. So
Okay.
as an example, my experience for leverage was injury. And the four things that I said for leverage are, from my experience, I can be more resilient, my mindset. I can connect with other people that have injuries. I could coach other people that have injuries. I had to rehabilitate. So what did that mean? Mentally and physically and spiritually, I had to put things into place and take action. So I did it before, which means I can do it again. If I ever get injured again, I can leverage that experience that I had to be more successful. So right now we're just giving our examples, Betty and Gina and Nafisa, if you want to write them in the chats. And then Asia will write them up once she's done.
The leverage?
Okay. So I just wrote one, but oh my God.
Oh, shoot. Right.
I'm gonna write that straight.
No, I totally
It was
forgot
just rush.
that you did that.
Andres, don't be laughing at my, uphill right now.
No one was laughing at that. I was saying that distracted Santino. He didn't know, didn't see.
That's because she's always going ahead.
Over the umbrella.
Andres, but, going at a faster, going at a faster pace. Would that be for leverage?
If there are things that you can leverage from that. So it'd be like, here, 1 second, I'll go back up on 1 second. What's the?
Did they have anything in the chat?
Thank you so much. He's what?
I've been thumbing down.
I gotta sing wide, then you start marking over me. Okay, so I'm just trying to break out leverage a little bit more too. But this is probably hot. Asia, can you admit Gina? She just love it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry, guys, my big head's in the camera.
Right on the angle.
Okay.
See, that's what we're getting. So for leverage, what we want to kind of break it out is first part of leverage is the experience. So what is the experience? So for me, injury. Injury was the experience. Then I want to have the different examples. How do I leverage it? Or what are some things that I can translate it to? Right? So if one experience was, let's say, toxic relationship, right? Some of the things that you can pull from a toxic relationship are now you have boundaries, right? I never had boundaries before. So one way that I can leverage that is boundaries.
Yeah.
Another way that I can leverage that is there are some of the things that are not in alignment with me, i.e. I wasn't getting respect, right? There was no communication in the relationship, or there was no trust, right? Or maybe we ate bad food, or maybe it was all of those things, right? So by being aware of that, my leverage is I can focus on relationships that have my values, right? I can focus on situations that have my values.
It's the people that don't know.
Takai, you put yourself already?
Yeah. I just did
Whatever
it.
that situation.
Oh, top right?
Okay.
Okay. Who's saying you didn't put yourself yet?
What is some education, what's something that you, what is a specific thing that you learned? Pass on to somebody?
Everything.
I mean, yes, what you said
Everything
is right in
Yeah,
general,
yeah.
but I'm saying like, the idea of this exercise is to get you to think about your specific experiences and how you can leverage those.
Everything.
So that that education piece, your lived experiences, I'm saying yes, but it's too broad.
How'd your face make up?
Narrow down some specific things.
I don't even, I don't know, probably try.
So like, so what you said about about that injury and what that, like that is, that's a specific thing where. But Jack. And so you're going to, but if that makes you be more careful around machinery, makes you think like the, do you know what I'm saying?
No,
So all of your whole life, yeah. So think about some of the specific ones, what stands out, like what's some big life lessons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you first heard about the corners, when she first said about it, you would have said, so whatever. But you decided to come here and take your chance on a new experience. Doing that so far.
Ham watch that.
Proof. That's it is for you.
That's what you the best for.
This big old jacket.
You just get a face cloth or something.
A face
Leveraging
cloth
that
is gonna take
experience
dirt
is
out
that
like a breath.
sometimes maybe people don't want to try.
You don't know what that wrist work?
That's why I say. it's program.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I like.
You
wash my
never cleaned your
clothes.
shoes before?
Line of sight,
Huh?
like,
You never cleaned your shoes before?
like, how
Yeah,
people
I've washed my
just-
clothes like with my hands before, like I've hand washed
Together.
clothes before.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I just like, look.
Yes. It's a light colored jacket. It's on
not-
site.
and it's
Imagine
not
all
that
that
you're
would have been
not
on you if your jacket wasn't
Intelligent
there.
enough
I just
to
didn't
get
think
things,
about
if
it.
you've never heard something, how can you know?
Now I feel like I need a brush, I feel like face cloth is.
Yeah, but what's up? The reason why I'm saying face cloth is some jackets
Going
that
back
So
are
I think
get
the
busted out.
injury one is a
Yeah.
good example,
With the
because you
brush.
can see
But
that
shoes, I
from
ate
that
toothbrush.
experience,
Mhm.
it,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you,
So-
you move differently, you change your behavior, and you think of new stuff.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Not me. See, listen, I still got shoes. I can get rid
But
of them.
that's what you.
But I still got shoes. No. I don't want to buy more. I mean, I'm always open to buying more, but it's not because I need to, right? So I still got shoes that I had in high school.
Oh, and you still wear them?
Yeah, I'll clean them.
Or not, or whatever, but there's.
That's why I
certain
said there are some that I can get rid of.
I went to school at a prep school in
Yeah.
the States, so every time we crossed the border with
Oh.
all his belongings,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
all them shoes crossed the
oh,
border with
why
boxes.
is this little
Oh
boy
yeah.
taking the shoe boxes with
That's it.
him too? So it looks like every time we cross, we're buying shoes, but
Wow.
really, they're not.
They're mine. Had them for years, right?
And you would have got them cheaper down there, wouldn't you? And the same.
Oh, when I got stuff down there, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because when I was down there, though, it was by Kerry. Or I would go to Kerry. Shopping outlet.
Yeah.
Bring that back. But if you buy it and you live down there, it's not really the same as buying it to bring back.
Right, cause you gotta pay. for
Cause
that.
I live down here. That's what I'm using
Yeah.
down here. These old shoes now. They're not new.
Even though they still look brand new, so it's hard to explain that. to
Here's a
people.
toothbrush. That's it.
So would you give them away?
If I didn't need my stuff, you mean?
No, he is not.
No, with some stuff, with some stuff.
Depends if there's value. What's the value?
You turned his head like, what kind of question is that?
No, but really, think about it. Do we really need all the clothes and shoes that we have? When
We
there's
don't
people-
need,
When there's
no.
people that don't have a stitch of clothes to change into.
That's why I'm big on, like community stuff. I used to really like Value Village. I'll still go there, but I used to like them when they were new.
Yeah.
And they were more about like, they'll donate stuff or do whatever. Now they're just like a big business that everybody, they make
And it's not.
straight
even-
profit from,
That's-
just profit is more expensive than the stores you buy the clothes from,
Yeah.
can be.
That's why I'm shocked that, like, if I have something and I know that it's still in good condition, I give it away. I don't even put a price on it.
Yeah.
I can't put a price on things. It's just me, I just can't. I have to give it.
Well, it's not that, but.
And it depends on me, because a lot of the stuff that I got in the first, it was second in the first place, so it's different. If I went to the store and paid $400 for something, then that value of that to me, I might try to resell that because of the value of it. So I mean, it depends on the, I don't take, like,
Yeah.
I don't make it all, paint it all with the same brush.
No, I get what you're saying.
Right before Christmas. I'm sure
Why are they
watch-
just posting this?
You've been in the hospital right now.
I went to school. You got it.
Hey, you got everybody that was on?
Well, he wrote down a few things. I only wrote one of them, and then, I don't think anyone else wrote anything. I mean, they could have, but.
No. Betty and Gina, make sure that you write your examples for leverage in the chats. Hey, you wanna kick us off for your example?
Oh.
Walk us through it.
Okay, I guess. My one would be for, like, working in a toxic environment, but also being, in a toxic relationship as well. Just
So that's the
being,
experience. Boom.
yeah, that's the experience. And then what I'm taking from those is learning that, I'm being in atmospheres that didn't match my values. Just showed me what I'm not willing to allow or to settle for in the future when it comes to like work. And how I'm being treated at work, but then also how I'm being treated by people in my personal life as well.
Right, so there's a bunch of ways, and this is why I'm just trying to break it out not that you did it wrong, but just trying to say to everyone, when we think about leverage, right? First part, what's the experience? And then what's the takeaway? What are we transferring? So exactly what you said. Who you want to pass? Oh my goodness.
Just write your experience.
You knew it was coming there.
I was hoping you were going.
To do that also.
Yeah, yell to our online people too.
Okay, I put toxic working environment.
Yep.
So basically, being in a toxic working environment taught me that I'm better working independently.
Boom. So experience was toxic environment.
Yeah,
How do you leverage it, or what are some things you can leverage? So independent work.
Yeah.
Being able to work, but regulate yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're working alone, boundaries will be some other ones. Who you want to pass it to?
I'll pass it to Karen.
Sneaky. She was sneaking you with that one.
My experience, I put being a basketball player.
Basketball. Yeah. Remember, you gotta just yell to these online folks.
My experience, I put being a basketball player.
Yep.
And what I wrote under, leverage is being committed to the sport.
Yep.
And it's just stuff, that I've been doing basketball for like 6-7 years, so this is like my first year of my confidence in basketball.
Yep.
So it's good to have my free time back, but I miss playing the sport and like how much I was playing with it. And then being a hard worker.
Yep.
Hard working in general, just working hard and going to practice every day, and not listen to practice, that's another part of being committed to it.
A huge part.
Then, what's the one? And then building a bond like team, so like team chemistry, like just working like.
Yeah. 100%.
And then I could take those experiences to Dutch from something else, so like being committed to like a job.
Absolutely. Those are perfect examples, Sakai. That's exactly where we're at, right? And then the other piece where you talk about like the training or practice, that can go into anything and everything. Who you want to pass it to?
That's,
Santino, you already up. Yeah, can you write and talk at the same time?
Yes, and you go.
Well, for mine, I just put, support, not get any in return, and being truthful probably should have been the other way around, but that's what I got.
So what is the experience?
Cause people be lying.
Okay, so the experience is being lied to.
Yes.
And so from being lied to, how do you move
Hussein,
differently?
right
when
up,
people lie
right
to
before
you?
the support, just put
Not
lies.
believing what they tell me.
Just because that's the
So
experience,
that's not.
being lied to.
But you're trying to leverage something that you got motivated to.
Jazz.
Jasmine, that blue one right there,
Right here.
top.
What?
He's gonna put down the experience. The experience is being
No,
lied
being
to.
lied to.
Yeah,
Being lied
Being
to.
lied to.
And then being lied to, how did that make you move differently in the future that's better for you?
Thank you, Hussein. Yep,
Make sure you have to tell the truth to be honest.
Yeah. That makes me wanna be, honest, because I'm always honest. I'll tell you where to go and how to get there.
I mean, you're
So-
looking for it in other people.
Yeah, I'm looking for it in other people.
So being lied to has, I leverage that into looking for honesty in my other relationship.
Yes, good. Ooh, that's a good one too. And not have to reword it.
just a bit. But this is the thing, right? None of us needs to be perfect, but this really challenging everyone to say, okay, what is the experience? Because the more we break that part out, because every experience that we have can be leveraged. Negative, positive does not matter. It can be leveraged.
Every experience leaves an imprint, so if you choose not to leverage it, then it's
Jeff, who you pass?
kind of a wasted experience.
Whoever didn't go. Speak up or forever hold peace.
Santino.
Santino or Jamal?
Sam didn't go, and I would go.
You know what, Santino, Jamal, so Jamal gonna go first and then you pass.
You can't read.
Yeah.
Very important, you know.
Oh, it's surgery.
It's important about the global communication.
Yeah.
Between local or overseas, and it's very important, you know, like, when, you know, like, tolerances, you know, it's very important. It's very important tool, you know, for me, you know. I mean, I have to be communicated with them as conservative, I'm concerned about them.
Oh, I haven't.
It's part one for number 10.
Yep.
It is very, very important part, you know, with the life history. And for the kids as well, you know, for parenting, you know, very important. What we kids sometimes like them, you know. It's very important.
Perfect. And you pass, you said Santino or Camille, who you want to pass to?
And, you know,
I put down surgery. I didn't go. I should have put down surgeries. Have surgery. One example is, yeah, me almost losing my finger grade, 7, 8, or 9, I'm not sure what grade it was, but help me be more careful around machines and stuff like that. So I see a machine, I'm different around machines.
That's a very important one to leverage.
Safety, that's the first.
Takes time. I almost lost my toe. Yeah, I feel you.
That was not when you were.
That was recent.
I did that one too. The big one too.
Went by steel toe boots right after.
In your eye. Oh my God, that was great.
Camille, you're up.
I just put secure, I think, I spelled it right.
Yeah.
Environment, creating boundaries and self-awareness and, seeking clarity, knowing what my role is and what's expected of me, and communication of my abilities.
That's great. Great example. Thank you. I'm saying, I think,
Yeah, I bought actually from the example that we were talking about earlier, is gaining weight, it's one of the.
Where is it? Yours is hidden,
The green.
right behind Santino's head, that's why.
Wow.
I'll look, that's good.
Big tool inside.
Down more. Okay, so gaining weight. That's problem. So, for my, so my level is learning from previous experiences. How to control my weight a little bit or lose some weight.
Mhm.
And being aware of what good food or what not bad food for me specifically, because that could be different from one. Yes, there are,
For everybody,
general
yeah.
things, but it could be different. One of the things that is actually one of the tips I made is, honey is healthy.
Yeah.
And good for many people, but for me, they told me it helps to, for me to gain weight.
Oh,
So I should be aware of that. I don't know,
you
should
can
not-
give me all the honey that you would eat.
and
I'll take it.
It doesn't make any difference in your weight.
You can give me more and we'll see, but so far, no.
Okay. So yeah, being aware of the things that I should eat, I should not eat, that is my leverage.
Perfect.
And being aware that I have that's and a leverage.
That's awesome. I'm just trying to see.
You're leveraging the awareness and soon you will leverage and if you take action.
Yeah,
Not
action is,
just having the
well,
awareness, but
exactly,
taking the
action is
the
the most
next
important
step.
part of everything, action. If there's
Nafisa,
no action, no, it doesn't work.
do you want to read yours?
That's the only way that you can,
You can affect your self-talk even more negative once you have the awareness and then you don't take action.
the,
Exactly.
Okay, so for mine, I write like leveraging personal and professional networks to gain support and opportunities. And about skills, leveraging skills through online courses, workshops, or mentorship to enhance the personal and professional capabilities.
Okay, I'll just read just to repeat it. The first one should say, yeah, leveraging personal professional networks, help gain support, opportunities and experience. And then also like for leveraging learning, so skills through online courses, workshops, mentorship, and all that stuff to improve her capabilities. Did you have an example? Yeah, do you have an example of something you can leverage?
So I have over federal government work experience, so I did a lot of different roles in the government when I worked there. For over 5 years, I did a lot of budgeting, managing budget. So because I had that work experience and I did not enjoy doing it at all, and I wasn't necessarily happy when I was working there. However, all of the knowledge and experience that I got from there I leveraged that in a new career in running a business with my son. So all of the things I
Who's that?
learned there. I didn't enjoy most of my time there, but the transferable skills, I could leverage all of that in my new life.
I didn't know what son you were talking about.
Well, you don't need to know about my business with my other son.
John Doe.
This is what I'm trying to figure out.
Listen, the one in grade 9 got a
That's not a business for-
you got a lot of
Son too?
that's another business, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man.
Be part of
So-
the review of kids.
So for me, but this is why we're talking about this, right? Cause I really, no, but this is what families, and my grandmother said there's no shoulds, so I'm trying to be mindful of language. But this is how you build wealth. This is how you build strength in your family, whether family's by blood or your tribe, it's the people you're with. You build strength and legacy by investing and collaborating with the people around you, right? So if you don't like your friends or you don't like your family and you can't make money with them or you can't have fun or you can't create things, you need to, doesn't mean get rid of them, but you need to find other people that you can. We can't just say like, oh, well, I don't have those people around me, so that's it. That's fixed. That's a fixed mindset. And when it comes to health, wellness, abundance, growth, finances, any of that, if the people around us aren't about it, gotta find some new people And I guarantee a lot of the times the people that were around us before, they'll either start doing what you're doing because they see what's happening, or they're gonna take a step back on their own. Right? So I have friends that we talk about money, we talk about businesses, we talk about families, we talk about relationships. And I have friends that we just kind of talk about hanging out, relaxed stuff. And that's fine, but it can't just be all one and none the other. Right? So especially with this is why it's super important, because if your whole family, if all your kids, Hussein, start thinking about what do they value, and they know what alignment means to them, and they start thinking about their experiences, and they start thinking about how they can leverage them, your family is going to be more successful than if they weren't. Just because their mindset is ready for it. They're going to be open to different opportunities, right? And that's why it's, as our mindset changes, so many other things start happening because we can notice, we can be aware, we can take action, right? If our eyes are closed, we're going to walk by all kinds of opportunities in life. And that's what mindset is. Your eyes are either open, you can see, you can sense, you can feel, or it's closed. Hussein, you have a question?
No, I'm thinking about what you're saying. If your eyes are closed and you can see, that's a problem.
Tough deal.
And that's at every single level in your life, not only in business.
Absolutely.
And if your eyes are open, but you don't have awareness of what
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking for, then you can look around and it doesn't mean anything.
We still miss,
Exactly.
we still miss it.
Still miss it, exactly.
This is just a quick recap. We discussed on this one, so my Zoom folks just look on the share screen. So again, a lot of these things, it's a reminder. So our culture, our ethnicity, our community, our heritage, it impacts these things. It influences these things. If you come from a very spiritual or a very passionate or a very respect-based community, that's going to be higher on your list than if that's not your background, right? But it's also important to recognize and acknowledge what are internal things for us and what are some things from external, from community, right? We're going to come back to that because that was the activity. We talked about fear. We talked about pressure. We talked about this kind of piece, which is that anytime we're going through change, anytime we want to level up, anytime we want to change our mindset, we got to give ourselves moments of pause. That's how we can get clarity, right? Instead of just reacting, we hit pause so we can take action. All right, so what is that? Again, remember, your mindset's ever changing. It's ever changing. All right, it's critical. We got to hit the pause button. And this is why when we say our mindset's about understanding cues, right? It's the filter. So do you know why you get triggered, or you just get triggered? Right? Do you know why you get excited by stuff, or why you want to spend your money on things? Or is it just because that's what's advertised to you? Right? This is the friendly reminder that if we're not aware of stuff on our lives or in our lives, I guarantee you somebody is making money from you in that area. If you don't know why you keep going to that fast food spot, they're doing something right. If you're like, I don't like coffee, but I can't stop going to Tim Hortons, you're the best client. I don't like your product, but I can't stop buying it. That's that's crazy. So these are the things we have to be awareness, or else people not only have power over us, not only have control over us, but they're making that money on us too. So these are kind of 4 things definitely to write down, because I know Jasmine will to ask me. So these 4 things: building momentum. We've been talking about momentum. Momentum is speed.
I already
Momentum
have this
is
down.
energy.
You might think.
You have written down?
Yeah, we could just, remember you put it up and we just got us to write it down.
No, everyone wrote it down.
It was the,
It would have been the end of last week,
Yeah.
but because we're easing into this, so I want to make sure everyone has this written down. So momentum, right? It's intention, it's focused commitment, sustained action, and it's discipline.
What day was that?
I think it would have been Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, no, it's not on here, it's in my book. I'm just gonna write it on.
I can't find it now. No,
Good answer, Santino. Either way, it's probably quicker to just write it down now. Then to go back.
Okay.
Angela, you might as well just anchor right there. Sakai trying to make more friends anyways, you gotta help. So 4 keys of building momentum, gotta have the intention. You have to have focused commitment. You have to have sustained action, and you gotta have discipline. You can have 1, you can have 2, you can have 3, but you need 4 to have long-term success. Just well, so I can follow just before 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
You want us to write,
Please,
example, or just write it in?
just write it down for now, just write it down for now. I was gonna say, if we write examples for this, I mean, let's go to lunch. Not before lunch. It still is. I'm just saying, there's like, watching the video and then doing this. For what I'm getting. People have it talking about. What about crazy stuff?
No, we didn't.
What's the first one?
No,
But now, my head's not in
But
the
now-
way,
but
oh
now we do.
my goodness,
I'm
intention.
looking at it, I'm like, no, I didn't have to write this down, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time. You might be talking about something else.
I think it is something else.
Yeah. I'm looking for it, I'm like, no, there's no way.
So we didn't do the next part?
It's like for leverage?
Yeah, there was something else,
feedback.
the,
That's just a list, that's just a list.
The
Didn't have-
feedback?
Didn't have to give examples.